I wonder if this is how the Chosen felt, bounded upon the blood zone, unable to focus on anything except the axe, swinging like a pendulum, cutting their time short. Pardon me, friend, I need some time alone to think. This quest chain is so dark, I really, really like it. It's just such a shame that Guild Wars isn't... Because I honestly can imagine, there's enough depth here and different strings to be elaborated on to have something like this actually become a film. And it probably is very similar to a film that exists. And it's just a shame that, it probably doesn't affect people as emotionally as a story that's written like this has been written probably could. You see what I mean? Anyway, he says, I've been thinking since we last spoke, Tom. Glaven claims that we've altered the aspect of Lazarus trapped inside me and somehow corrupted it. He feels that if Lazarus obtains the aspect in this state, it will most certainly harm him. That may be our only chance. Lazarus was among the most powerful of the unseen ones. He was one of those 3 powerful ones, as I said, that we saw with Saul D'Alessio, who basically destroyed all the Char on their own that invaded Kryta. We need to lure him into a trap, even if that means I have to make myself the bait in the process. The White Mantle is gathering at Magus Stones. I need your help. So I'm not quite sure if you guys know what this guy's saying here, but he'll elaborate on it soon. But it's very grim. Okay, so for the greater good, let's go on. I may as well take this opportunity since I just mentioned the Char invading Kryta. A lot of you have been leaving comments recently about how the Char are really good guys and really they're just defending them, taking back Ascalon, and that the humans were the bad guys. And yeah, I agree, there is that aspect to it. But we can't get around the fact that the Char are just bloodthirsty animals that love to conquer. Okay, this is what drives them. And when they originally brought down the Searing and had their first attack pop back at Ascalon, they didn't just go for Ascalon. No, they launched a 3-pronged attack on Or, Kryta, and Ascalon. And arguably those humans in those places had no quarrels with the Char at all. Okay, so you can't say that the Char make out like they're these goody two-shoes guys, because they like to invade just as much as the humans ever did. They're if anything, they're as bad as one another. So do bear that in mind, because I think a lot of people do tend to forget that as soon as they hear about the fact that the humans originally, that the Char originally owned Ascalon and the humans took it. People do forget about the fact that the Char launched a pretty devastating attack on both Ascalon and Or. I mean, sure, it was the Vizier that took it upon himself to destroy all of Or, and maybe the Char never wanted to destroy the whole place, they just wanted to conquer it, particularly because they hated the human gods so much, and they knew that that's where the gods sort of were based, and sort of the Orions had been keeping the city of the gods, Ara. Oh, I just love the idea of Ara. They knew that the humans had been sort of revering it, and to claim Ara as the Char would have been a pretty big blow to all humans, really, even if they didn't get Ascalon. But they were trying to conquer lots of different places. And to be honest, they lost in all 3 places. It took them a long time to finish off. In fact, they still haven't really finished off Ascalon come Guild Wars 2. In 250 years, they're still fighting humans. They might be ghosts, but they are still fighting humans. So the way I look at it, the Char haven't actually done that much. But we don't know the extent of their lands in the unviewable areas come 250 years. So I will hold any further thoughts on that until we get to see or learn a bit more about it. But yeah. But yeah, so we're coming out here. No real advice or skip stuff for you guys for this one. Just move to the quest market. There's some cool stuff around here. I mean, we haven't seen these Asuran pool thingies. Oh yeah, something else. Obviously, the ruins. I've been talking a lot about how Ratasum is an anagram for Messart. Lots of people think that maybe these ruins that the Asura are now inhabiting were built by the Messart. This kind of strengthens and is a lot of what people point to when they're arguing about that, because hey, look, for some reason there's a lot of Messart activity around here. And the other thing is, if you remember the story about Saul D'Alessio himself, how he's a gambler, how he's we got some pink dye. Really, that's still dropping even though it's Halloween now? Oh no, somebody did leave a comment saying that this drops all year round now. It's just a special type of pink dye that drops elsewhere. But yeah, anyway, what they with Saul D'Alessio, how he used to be a drunk and a gambler, and how he sort of got exiled from Kryta and he was wandering around in a forest, and that's where he first found the Messart, and that's how the Messart first came to the formed the White Mantle essentially through Saul D'Alessio, and they dressed him in robes of white and he left, and he claimed he had the answer to all of Kryta's problems after the royal family left and all that stuff. Well, the people do argue that maybe this nameless forest that they're talking about was perhaps somewhere around here. I mean, if you think about it, we've got Vlox's Falls here, and this is all Kryta here. here. I mean, that's Sanctum K. This is Riverside Province here. It's all Kryta. We're not too far away from it. And even the Tarnished Haven, which is down here, which you could argue is a fair distance from Kryta. Even this talks about how this exiles from Kryta, you know, quite important people all kind of came here. And that's what Saul was. He was a Krytan exile. So that's more reasons people say, hey, maybe this is where real Masart civilization came from. Even further than that, if Masart civilization was based here, and seers were here, maybe, I'm not so sure about the seer, but more importantly, that would explain why such heavy Masart activity was going on down here, because this is where the Door of Kamali was, and it's actually quite close to the Tarnished Haven. Really, it's not very far. I could easily imagine this sort of being just a small outpost of the Masart. I guess the interesting question is during prophecies, while we're all around in Kryta, were these lands, were hundreds of Masart around in these lands, and then when the Vizier released all of the Titans, did they come here and kill loads of Masart? And now they're ruins, but are they only just very recently ruins? I just don't know. And then there's even more questions, like, you know how like I really should just do the quest. Hold on. we'll do the quest, and then maybe I'll talk more on our next long walk, because we're at the spot anyway. Wait, what are we doing here? Am I supposed to be speaking to someone at the shrine? Have I missed something? I'm sure I've not missed something. Don't you just come here and a bunch of White Mantle arrive? Or they should be spawning around here? Hold on. Meet Justicar Navid at the Magus Stones. And we're at the position. He must be at the shrine. If he's at the shrine and I've missed him, I'm sorry guys, I'm a moron. And you have the right to rage in the comments. Yeah, there he is. Alright, hi. He was hiding behind a rock. He says, here's the plan. The White Mantle has been chasing me for so long they would think something amiss if I turned myself in. That's where you lot come in. You talk to them. They don't know it was you who felled their scouts. You'll be fine. Tell them you found me. They'll be eager to have me back, so they'll follow you. I'll be waiting here. When you bring them, I will attack. And that's your cue. We'll let one scout escape to bring word back. We must convince the White Mantle that I intend to fight and to live. If they feel like I've given up, Lazarus the Dire will become suspicious and notice the changes to his aspect. This is our only chance. We have to make the best of what life gives us. Alright, so he's got quite an upbeat attitude, alright? It doesn't explain that as well as I thought it did. His plan is, the aspect that's within him is corrupt. Glaven thinks that if Lazarus now claims that aspect, it will damage Lazarus, and Navid knows that Lazarus is a particularly dangerous Masart, so he's willing to give up the aspect, which will kill him. He's the host, so he's going to kill himself in the hopes that it will damage and take out Lazarus, because conceivably that's the only way to take out these Masart right now. So it's a bit weird. I'm not sure how that kind of fits with the lore. I mean, you could assume that if that's true, if that really is our only hope of killing the Masart, despite the fact we killed a lot in Prophecies, that could mean that in Prophecies the only reason the player characters were able to fight the Masart is because they had the backings of the Seers. I mean, maybe we're assuming now that the infusion that we were blessed with 7 years ago has run out, or and the Masart, even just one of them, have become these unstoppable forces again, and we've really got to, and this is why Navid finds it so important to sacrifice his life in order to kill just this one. Which is, I think that's the way I prefer to look at it, particularly when you see what happens in the war in Kryta. It certainly seems like the gifts that the Seers gave us back then are just null and void by this point. But we'll see that when we get further into the war in Kryta. So here's the White Mantle. They're allied with us, and they will be, because obviously we're setting a trap. We don't want to fight. I just want to tell you that I found your old friend. So I say, hail! I hear you've been looking for a fugitive of the White Mantle. I have some information about Justicar Navid, if the price is right. You know the whereabouts of the traitor? Take us there, now. Your payment is that you keep your lives. Oh, I love this quest, because it really pisses you off the way that guy says that, but you're like, alright, just relax. We'll guide them back, we'll kill them in a minute. So yeah, alright, so you lead them back. The other thing I was going to say earlier was about how the Asura seem to have come to these ruins, and if they're only just been left by the Masart, all these advances that the Asura have got, all this kind of magitech stuff, it could be somewhat based on the magic they found sort of infused in these ruins. You know how there's all the floating stuff in the ruins? Maybe the Asura kind of found it and it was already like that, and they're just developing on that technology from here on. And over the next 250 years, maybe they refine Masart magic, which is pre-god magic, might I add, which means it's not limited by the bloodstones and stuff, like Spectral Agony is super powerful, and that's why, essentially, as far as I can see. And that's how eventually, come 250 years, they have a giant floating city. Would be a cool thing to happen if that did. Anyway, so here we go. Justicana Navitas, like moths to a flame, attack. Now we get to kill them all in a wonderful bloody battle. And how does that actually work with the last scout? Do we kill this guy but we can't quite finish him off and he becomes allied? No. Where's the one scout that leaves? I don't actually see one. Alright, maybe we're just assuming one of them got away. Okay, so we speak to Justicana Navid again. He says, "We've done it! With that scout fled, I don't doubt that the White Mantle will soon be on us in force. I'm sorry to have to put this on you, friend, but I fear it's the only way we can guarantee that Lazarus the Dire won't expect any unpleasant surprises when it comes time to reclaim this aspect. All we can do now is head back to the Tarnished Haven. I suspect we won't have to wait long. It's a shame. I would like to have watched the sun set just one more time." See, it's dark. It's dark. It's a man openly going to his death for the greater good. It's good. I like it. Alright, so we're going to go back. And we're coming up to the last quest now. I think we just walk out and speak to Glavin again. But like, it doesn't feel that compelling because it's not. Like, I quite like. Maybe it's because I liked Final Fantasy X. I just keep talking about that in this. Maybe it's because I like Final Fantasy X so much, and that story. Spoilers, if you guys care. It's about somebody openly going to their suicide, and it's quite moving as well. So I think there's a special spot in my heart for those kinds of stories. They're not really old for me. Although I'm sure, give it another 20 years and I'll be thinking, oh, this is so boring. There we go, here's Glavin. You can see he's got something to say to us. I'm not going to speak to Xingji Shaman again because he's done absolutely nothing for us. Hey Glavin. Oh, so, difficulty master, this is the last quest. Your friend over there, the gloomy one, he says it's time. Time is not a thing, an object you can see or hear or create. It merely exists, or rather we exist within it. As I was explaining this to him in detail, he interrupted and mentioned something about... See, this is brilliant. This is so Asura. This is a guy walking to his death and, you know, thinking about life and all the things that go with it. And, you know, it's all very emotional. And all the Asura cares about is demeaning him and talking about concepts that the Asura clearly thinks are far too advanced for humans to understand. I mean, what an arsehole. It's brilliant. I love it. Okay, I was explaining this to him in detail and he interrupted and mentioned something about a battle. Nasty things, battles. I wish to have no part at all. This was not part of our arrangement, but you could help him. He is your friend. Besides, I suddenly have an idea for a time machine. Alright, okay, so yeah, and here we get a scroll of resurrection as a reward. No skills at all from this. So time is like a what now? No, it's about time for battle. So there you go. Once again, we're going to go going into the same kind of instance as we were in before. I'm going to read this out again because I actually quite like this saying. We spend our entire lives with eyes cast forward and yet fail to notice what lies at our feet. You never realise what you have until you lose it. It's strange. I didn't think I would be so calm knowing what lies ahead. Perhaps I've made peace with the crimes of my past. One can only hope. What of you, friend? Are you ready? We are ready to face Lazarus and the White Mantle. I fear this will be the last time we shall fight at each other's sides. It was good to know you, even for such a brief period. Are you ready? We are ready to stand beside you to the end. So yeah, I guess he was White Mantle, so this is probably one of the only ways he can redeem himself. Who knows how many Chosen he's killed. But yeah. Alright, so here we go. Justicar's End. Oh, we're not actually at the Tarnished Haven, we're elsewhere. Oh yeah, we are. I love this outpost. It's got so many like cool little buildings and stuff that you don't usually notice. We get a load of White Mantle here. It's just a big defend mission. I'm curious to see whether my party can handle it. I'll spread them out just to be safe. See, that gets them out of the AoE at the very least. I'm going to have the party window up. Fuck it. I don't think a single one of you care when I put the party window up anymore, so whatever. And I'm not sure how many waves there are, because this honestly isn't a quest I've done much. It's because obviously when you know the story, you know the story, right? And there's, like I said, there's no skills, nothing like that, so there's not much gameplay reason to come back here. Except Asura and reputation points. How high is our Asura, by the way? I'm wondering. We're not too clumsy. We're soon not too boring. That'll be good. When I complete Eye of the North, a lot of you have been asking about armor for Tom, and there will be new armor for everyone. Each of these reputations, each of these arcs, these people, they will offer you armor when you get to rank 5 in their respective title. And it is very much my intention to get everybody to rank 5 and then buy the armor, and we'll finish Eye of the North. All with our new gear and all kitted out and stuff. Speaking of that, I may as well talk about it a bit. I know that there's Guild Wars Beyond that comes after Eye of the North, and I will be doing that, but The end of Eye of the North for me is going to be like the definitive end of. I don't want to say the Let's Play, but if I'm ever going to pick a real end to the Let's Play, it will be at the end of Eye of the North, because the truth is, let's move everyone forward a bit, that Guild Wars Beyond could go on forever. So I do want a point where I can kind of say, hey, look, this is where the main Let's Play ended, and the stuff after it is just kind of extras. Because really, if you look at the content, that is what Guild Wars Beyond is anyway. It's just extras afterwards. So sort of I'm aiming to make the end of the Eye of the North Let's Play kind of like a big definitive end thing. So yeah, just bear that in mind, guys. We'll probably use the same characters. Actually, that's something I've been thinking about as well that I'm not 100% sure on yet. If you guys have got any thoughts, whether what character will we take through Warring Crichton and Winds of Change and stuff. I don't want to do all three. So that'll be a bit weird. I don't know who to pick. I'm not sure I want to make a whole new character either, though I guess that would kind of fit the theme of sort of ending Eye of the North. See, there's a part of me that kind of wants the end of Eye of the North to be a bit sad, as if we're like saying goodbye to the characters. But I can already imagine a load of you thinking, no, I don't want to say goodbye to Matt and stuff. So that might not be what I do, but it's something I'm thinking about. I don't know who I want to take there and stuff. Because so do let me know your thoughts, guys. You've probably got a lot of lore thoughts as well. Please do leave those comments. It was amazing. The last video we did, I love you guys. It was so cool. There were so many brilliant comments there. Like, I put out a bit of a longer video, and everybody really took to it. So yeah, it was so good reading all of your theories. It was absolutely fantastic. I don't want to point one or two out and sort of reduce the importance of all the other ones that people gave me, but everything you all said was really cool. So do keep those coming. I love reading about what you guys think, because yeah, I mean, this quest chain is just very important, as we'll see soon enough. I don't know how much longer I can ramble about crap while we're just mindlessly storing these things. At least this is easy. I thought it was going to be a little bit more dangerous. Obviously, it is a master difficulty quest. It's quite funny how good Vec's actually doing as a minion master. Well, mind you, he's only got 2 minions, and he's on basically 0 energy. Maybe he's doing a bit shit. But the team's not suffering for it, so... The next video, we'll be finishing the final mission here in the Tarnished Coast, because this is all the quests done now. I'm kind of worried about that, because that involves splitting, so I don't know. I'll probably have to do a bit of a weird tactic, which I don't usually do. Is that all of them? No, there's another load of them there. I'll probably cut it now, guys. So, or speed it up. I'm sure. How many waves does it actually tell me how many waves there are? No, we just have to repel the onslaught of White Mantle forces. So we'll keep on going. Just keep killing them until Lazarus decides he wants to show up and finish it himself. Fuck me, so many white mantle. Is this the last one? Yeah, that was the last one. Sweet, okay. So many white... It is kind of gameplay, right? But that is a hell of a lot of white mantle to still be around. And I guess the only reason that the white mantle still exists is because people like Lazarus here also exist. So here's Lazarus himself. I'm pretty sure he's just going to move on up. Here's Missart. I love the Missart. They're so mysterious. They're Arenanet's favourite antagonists. I've mentioned that before in the Let's Play, but I'm sure some of you don't know that. So we can definitely expect to see something of them in Guild Wars 2, and that's because of what we're about to see here. He says, "Pitiful humans, my brothers are dead, but I will tolerate your existence no longer." Wait, it's me you're after, Lazarus. There's no need to harm these people any further. I surrender to your will. Surrender? That was never an option. Your only choices are death and death. You are a tool that has served its function. Your usefulness has ended. Disappear now from this world. There we go, and he gets destroyed. We summon some bone minions out of his corpse instantly, and Lazarus looks a bit hurt. Naveed says goodbye. Those are his last words. What is this? Something is wrong. My power twists upon itself. What have you done to me? Accursed human, you have done this to me. I will not forget this. Countless generations will suffer for your actions this day. And we can't kill him. Again, I'm assuming in story this is because we don't have the power of the seers anymore. And Lazarus leaves, and that's the end. Countless generations will suffer for your actions this day. If Arenanet didn't want the Messart to be in Guild Wars 2, the Messart, the original antagonist, essentially, the Arenanet's favourite antagonists of the game, one of the most mysterious races in the game, if they wanted to drop them as a plot point, come Eye of the North, they would not have added this quest chain, and the final line would not have been countless generations will suffer for your actions this day. They've been asked a lot in interviews, Guild Wars 2 interviews, hey, what's going on with the Messart, and something is happening with the Messart come Guild Wars 2. The Seers, they've said that evidence of ancient civilizations will still be around, all kinds of stuff. We can expect stuff from this, and this quest chain is the last, until there's some awesome stuff in War and Cry as well to do with the Seers in particular, well, kind of awesome, but this is the last big thing we ever see with the Messart. So Glaven says,
I'm busy.
So it ends, so it ends. A curious thing happened here this day. That creature, the one called an Unseen One, possesses such frightful power. It's removed from the pattern of the world, but for how long? And yet, I wonder, what might have been learned from it? Ah well, there is knowledge yet to find, and paths yet to walk. There you go. And that's that. So, will Lazarus the Dyer be in Guild Wars 2? What about the other Messart that survived the Titan Apocalypse? Those ones that survived the Flameseeker prophecies? Who knows, but they'll be about for sure. We'll see a lot more to do with the Messart come War in Kryta, because War in Kryta is all about kicking the White Mantle out of power, or of Kryta, and restoring the monarchy, which is something that does happen. I'll tell you guys that that's only a very minor spoiler. By the end of War in Kryta, the White Mantle are gone and the monarchy's back, and I'm telling you guys that now because in the Halloween episodes that's kind of spoiled a little bit, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's the Messart. What do you think they'll do in Guild Wars 2? Are they going to be about? I don't think they will at launch. My thoughts are they won't be at launch, but maybe when we go to like Utopia, the Utopia continent that was cancelled, you know, there was possibly a hint to that in the Path to Revelations, which we saw last video. Maybe the Messart have got some presence there or something. You know, who knows? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love both of those quests. They're so cool. Anything to do with the Messart, I just love. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hey, look out, everybody! Tom Bluard is not too clumsy. No, I'm not. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful good day, guys. See you later.